Hey y'all. Well, this is going to be a short live. Just to let everyone know. This is going to be about tattoo tools and equipment. I went through a lot of my different things that I've owned throughout the last 8 years, 10 years, give or take, of my own personal stuff. So I wanted to bring this to the masses to see what y'all have and to let me know what you guys think. So, a lot of people that I've seen don't use coils. I understand. Some of them are heavy. They get, after a long time of use. But that comes to each artist's preference. I like coils because of the give personally. But we're not here for that debate. We're here just to show the different stuff. So, the different type of power supplies that I actually have a lot more than just these two that you're seeing. So the yellow one is just for your foot input and then one machine input, as you see. This one, on the other hand, I can run two machines off of for my line and shader, and then voltage time, and then my switch of which one it goes to. Then I got my foot pedal and my machine 1 and 2, and then my power that goes to the outlet. Now, the main supplies, obviously, foot switch that you see, rubber bands to go around. So what that rubber band does, it goes around the capacitor and the frame, goes around where the needle will come through, and the tube. So it keeps the needle to the A-arm, and when voltage is applied, it goes up and down. Now granted, I can set this to be higher or lower, depending on how I have it. On my liner, I have 18 gauge running. So it's got a lot more give. It's a lighter. I think this was my shader or my liner. I can't remember. Whatever. It's been a while since I've used them, obviously. And this one I'm running 19s. 19 gauge steel. So, clip cord, post, your arm, armature bar, rubber band that sits around that keeps that lifted, so it has contact to the post. And this is how you get your electric magnetic. Now, I did bring out my other jars, so those are what your needle bars would go on to keep them attached. Which with this one, I don't know if I have it on here, maybe not. Yes, I do. Got one attached on there, just to show as a reference. The different types of ones that I own. So this one is a Right Type 3. I own a couple of different types, but this is what I've owned. I also own the set where I would just have the tips, and then I would use my actual aluminum tube. Spray these down, keep them clean, scrub out the inside when you're done on both sides. That's what these are for scrubbing. I actually own different sizes of these because I also own these versions, which is thicker. Then you just wrap around the paper towel and it keeps your hand. Now, for tools and I just brought the needle as a reference. That's all it was, just as a reference. But when you use it, you bend it a little. That's how I've always been taught. I did bring out my different machines. So rotary, you'd be doing the original rotaries. You'd be doing the same design as you would for a coil machine. The only difference between this and the coil machine's using the electric magnetic to pull down the armature bar. This is using the machine to rotate the armature bar. And then I brought my pen machine out Hi, Hannah. And then I brought my hybrid. So it's a rotary, but it's also running like a coil machine. So if you see, there are 2 springs on this. And this is called the Black Tortoise by Inkclaw. And then this is another style rotary that I own. Just wanted to show the difference, that's all. So this one would go round, up and down, and just you see the head move. So all you see is the head move. But with rotaries and coils, you set them up exactly the same. Hi, Candy. With rotaries, with pen machines, obviously you use cartridge. Now I can use cartridge with both the coil and the rotary. I just have to use a special adapter like this one. I would have to use onto both my coil and my rotary machines. It just would have the adapter like a needle that actually hits the inside of the tube, so that the coil machine, the cartridge could be able to go up and down. That's literally the only difference. Alright, now to speak on what this tool is for. Please don't spam. That's all I ask, or I will block you. Alright, somebody wants to spam. I have no problems blocking. Sorry about that, y'all. So, now, what this machine is for. What's up, Irish? Just going through a couple of my tools and that, talking about it. So, as I was saying, so what this machine is for setting up. So, I would take my coil machine, use this as the base. This part would go like this. It would actually be on the back of here. So this part would go on the back of where that nut is. So you would take this whole frame off with the armature bar, put it in here, and to be able to center all of it. That's what this part's for. This is just for centering. And then for this, let it focus, is a tool to basically go inside. Let me find it. Just give me a second. I will show you guys. So when it's in here, this is basically just centering your armature bar to the middle for the tubes. That's all this tool is for. And then obviously you got your different types for doing the screws for your armature bar for your whole machine, basically, because most of them are going to be your Allen keys. Almost 95% I've ever seen are Allen key. So that's what that's for. Personally, no, I haven't. I haven't made my own coils. I haven't made my own frames. But I do. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, since you were talking to me on all the other stuff. So these are the different springs I was talking to you about. So I got from 13 all the way up to 23. And these are gauge steel. So these are what I would recommend if you want to play around with how hard or soft hitting your machine would get for a coil machine. As I was talking about, this one is a 19. If I remember right, that's what I had my liner as. And then my black one is an 18, and I think that's what I have my shader. It's been a long time since I used this, so don't quote me on that. But you were talking about tattoo machine kit. I do own one. As you can see, You got your head screws, your different types, your socket screw, binding post, washers, your solder lugs, non-leaded solder. That's good. Good, Irish. I just wanted to show you this, you know. So, if you're going to, copper, and then gold plated. Most of them are brass, but they're gold plated just to help with, but copper is one of the better ones personally. And then on the bottom of this kit, you got all your different screws. And then usually with this kit, they'll come with a 10 wrap coils. That's an average. There are a few that actually like 8 wrap coil machines. And I plan on one of these days getting one just to test it out as a liner, because me personally, if I'm using coils, it's going to be more of liner than it's going to be of anything else. It's just, I like how I love my Ainclaw Black Tortoise. It shades beautifully, and so does my Critical Torque. I got this one from Amazon a long time ago. That's the part number right there for you. TAT 419 is the part number. This thing's 7 or 8 years old. Same with all these are. So if you want, also get your springs. Make sure you get your front and back springs kit. That's how they come. They come in a small little bag like this, and you get 2 of each type. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44. So give or take 44. So you got from 23 all the way down to 13. So that's 10. That's 20 right there. And then so 40 pieces altogether for your spring kit. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't going to make this a long video. I was just going to go through a couple of things with y'all of the different types. For cartridges, if I can make this a little bit better for y'all to see. So this is a liner, but the cartridge is always going to be a little bit different than on how, let's say, this is always going to be. Now, personally, when it comes to tubes, I like diamond style. I do not like closed hole for my liners. It's just how I've always been, but I deal with it for what I've had. But yeah, I figured I'd talk a little bit on this subject. Most coil machines, keyword in this, 4 to 7 volts. You should not be going any higher than 7 on a coil, and usually it's recommended not even go past 6. So figure it out, but test the waters when it comes to that. But always do fake skin. Test first. Learn the machine you're working with, and don't screw people up. You want to test something, you know, with one of your friends, cool, but do not charge them money. Be honest on your talents. Be honest on what you're working with. I don't advise people tattooing others if they're not certified. But if you're going to, which we all were kids once, we all know how that goes. If you're going to, do it on yourself or on fake skin. That's my recommendations. Because it is hard to do cover-ups. I personally don't do them. I don't. That's just how I am. Cover-ups is not my thing. But You always got to be honest with who you're working with. Don't screw them over, because people take that shit to heart. And as an artist myself, even though I don't work in a shop, I take it to heart, because we should be prideful on the stuff that we work with. We're dealing with humans. We need to be prideful of that, taking responsibility of what we do. I had a coworker yesterday I was talking to about tattoos, and he wants to get something fixed for that somebody screwed up at a shop. And I told him, hey, I'd recommend these type of people at the different, conventions I've been to. Yeah, I know, Irish. See, the funnier thing, like, even though I'm younger than you, I've been around tattoos for a very long time. Like, surprisingly, like, I've been around tattoos since it was legalized in Fond du Lac back in the early 2000s. So, it's not something new to me. It just wasn't very heard of because it was illegal. I mean, like I said, in Milwaukee, they didn't legalize that till like 2001 in Milwaukee. Like late 90s was Fond du Lac when we were able to tattoo people in town. Late 90s it was common. But yeah, a lot of it was still illegal for a lot of parts throughout Wisconsin even. But my kid's crying, so I'm going to go take care of him. I just wanted to do this quick video. If anyone wants to, they can recommend me, ask me questions right underneath the comment section for this video, because I will be uploading it to my page. And just holler at me. Let me know what you want to know. Later. I'm a comment.